I don't see you. I hear you.
She's on the phone.
See you.
Are you on the phone?
I am on the phone.
Yeah.
I can't Zoom from here.
Yeah, she did say that. Okay. All right, we are recording. So I'm turning this around, Marie?
Yes.
Okay, wait, hold on before I turn it around.
Well, you
Let me finish doing what I was doing. Okay, hold on. I just wanted to, hold on. Crap. Director's in meeting. I'm doing it in mine. I did it in yours.
Like, did you change it? Okay.
Amazing job. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, okay, later we'll put it down. I want to see, like, I know how to bump, but
Yeah.
they're like, wait a minute, totally.
Yeah. It's like a balayage. So
Okay.
It's early.
Nice. Well, what did you charge? Okay.
Okay. All right, hold on.
Yeah,
Okay.
So
Turn
to
around.
get started, we're going to turn around. I want everybody
Hold on.
to say hello to the people that
Okay.
say hi, everybody. Hello. Welcome to my home. And we'll put it right on Laura. Laura, make sure you can see.
Make sure it's on Laura.
No, make sure it's on both of you.
I'll be like
So
a
you
voice
guys
from
can tell
above.
you guys can
More.
do the introduction about where you
Hold
were
on, let me see
and
where
what
you
we're
are.
covering today.
Okay, yeah.
You do that.
Yes.
all
Okay,
right.
perfect.
Can you guys see us?
Give me my food back.
Lucky
Can we
you.
hear you?
Lucky you.
Yeah,
Okay.
give us a thumbs up if you can hear us.
They did. Oh, can you hear us too?
Okay, good.
Okay. Okay, go. All right. All right, we didn't practice the skit. So basically, Laura and I, you guys, in a few weeks ago, actually, were at Robin Shilling's retreat in Pennsylvania. So I got to meet some awesome people that I was so excited to meet. Some of my kind of mentors that I've been learning from since I started this business last year. So it's been really, it was a great experience we love having everybody here, but it's also great to get, other perspectives and practices that are going on around the country. So it was really a great experience. We just wanted to recap with you guys a little bit about what we learned and just kind of give you some points that we thought would be great to share with you.
So we had Stacy Itzel there and April Shilling. I don't know.
Shilling. April Shilling.
April and Love Carpenter and Leslie Caperton and Tanya Brzezowski. So we walked through the Wisdom of Oz book. If you haven't read this is, we're going to kind of recap part of it today. But I found out from Marie that the executives got this from home office when they were there for exec seminar. So I was like, oh, that's a little perk to get to executive to go through this with home office as well. So we wanted to share some of the things about the Wisdom of Oz and what we learned from the book, from their dressing up as the Tin Man and the Lion and Dorothy and everything. It was really well put together. So
we left our costumes at home this morning.
Yes.
So. All right, are we ready?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do this. Okay, so yeah, as Laura said, this is the book. Okay, you guys, it's $11.55 on Amazon if you're interested in getting this. And some who are going to the Austin retreat, $11.55 on Amazon. You get it in 2 days if you have Prime. So the pieces that I really wanted to just touch on is this book really is, it's basically a dose of cognitive behavioral therapy. So it's basically changing the way that you think about getting, succeeding or getting over obstacles or, changing that thought process of I can't do something to, yes, I can, I just have to do something else to get there. So it touches on, there's this concept throughout the whole book. It's a theme throughout the whole book called above the line and below the line. So to give you an example, right? So below the line would be like your negative. I have so many places to look. I'm not even sure.
I know.
Okay. I'm like staring at this green dot on the screen. Okay. So below the line thinking is kind of when you're forfeiting, right? A challenge hits you and you're forfeiting. So I can't, I tried recruiting, 2 people, but it just didn't work. I guess people aren't interested in starting a business this month. That would be below the line thinking. Then the book teaches you how to think above the line. So that above the line would be something like, I haven't been able to recruit 2 people yet. So what have I done this month that didn't work? And what can I do right now differently to make this work. Okay, so you see the two different, thinking patterns, right? So we all get stuck below the line, I think, was the important message, and it's okay to get below the line. Really what was reiterated is have your little moment below the line, even if it's with your other teammates, or just with yourself, and give time yourself, right? Say, I'm gonna go below the line for 5 minutes, right? Basically, that's a venting moment, right? I'm gonna go below the line, I'm gonna vent, I'm gonna get it all out. Now as soon as that buzzer goes up, you switch your brain, it's done, and now you work above the line. So I thought we would get some, because really to go through some examples is the way to really recognize what that below the line and above the line is thinking is, right? So I thought maybe we would have somebody think of something, a challenge you've had, let's say this week, this month, business-wise, a challenge you've had. You guys have all had perfect businesses. That's awesome. Claire, you what?
Like a goal or something?
Yeah, something that you are struggling to do. Was what?
10 recruits.
Okay, so your goal for December or January is January 10 recruits. Where are you right now?
7.
Okay, so Blair has 10. Yeah, Blair's a recruiting maniac. So if you want to learn,
Doesn't sound like a challenge to me.
Apparently,
Doesn't sound like
she is challenged right now. So right now you have 7, right? And you're approaching the end of the month, and you are not reaching 10, or you are reaching 10. Okay, well then that's not a good. Okay, I need another example. Yeah, something that's not working for you.
Something not working.
Yeah, you're 2 above the line, so not get below the line, right? All right.
Well, this is like
Okay, should we change this? Okay.
Oh, geez.
Hi. Look at you and not us.
This is going to be like an honest thing. So I had a host, or I did a party Saturday night. She had just hosted in April. Not like just, but she hosted in April, so pretty recent. And I just, I've had so many cancellations. It's okay. So she had 3 people show. One didn't order, so she had 2 orders. So I walked out of her house with $89 in sales, and I was like, oh my God. And she felt horrible. And I was like, it's okay, trying to be positive. But she has a lot of interest in joining. So I have to keep it going and be a good role model.
So when you walked out of her house, because I know we've all been there, right? I swore that would have never happened to me, and guess what? It did. She's like, it will, Jess. It did. I'm like, damn.
I'm happy. Just move on.
So when you walked out of her house, the first thought that came to your mind was, I'm assuming, a little below the line, possibly, right? What was it? Can you recall what you were thinking when you walked out of her house after that show? Did you call Carrie and Ben? Okay. Did you? So you went below the line for a bit, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a quick fit, though. Really.
I mean, I
think I diverted her.
Right.
But I'm like, I have to be a good role model. I have to be positive. I have to spin this around and get her to at least 200.
Okay.
But she really wants 650.
So you went below the line for a little bit, right? And then you chose to go above the line and really look at the situation and think, the key word is, what else can I do, right? What else can I do? And that is the biggest, that is a huge, huge message in this book, you guys, is what else can I do? So a successful person, right, is going to say, okay, you know what else can I do here, right? Somebody who's going to let that below the line thinking pull them down. Somebody who's going to say, you know what, I just suck at this. Obviously, this isn't meant for me. And
well, that's what I was thinking.
Right.
Keep going.
Good example. Right. So so that was below the line.
Over the road.
Right.
Gotta move on.
So just a great example.
Jess, you need to share, and because I know we've all been here too. One of Jess's good friends from high school is on her team, and has already said, well, maybe this isn't for me. It doesn't work like it does for you. And Jess came back with, what have you done?
Right. So I have one friend on my team, and love her to death. But she definitely is stuck in this below the line thinking right now, so she's been on my team probably for about 5 months now, and she's going at her 2nd month of not qualifying. So I sent her a message and said, hey girl, just so you know, you need 150 to keep your career sales going. And she says, well, I thought it was every 2 months, to hold on to that, which she's been selling, just nothing crazy. And I said, well, last month you submitted 125, you were at $25 short. And she says, oh, well, maybe that's a sign. And I said, what do you mean that's a sign? Sign for what? And she says, maybe this is a sign that this isn't meant for me. I'm not like you. And I said, wait a second. I said, first of all, the only difference, Dottie, between you and I is the fact that I have shown up for every single meeting, you know, and I have said yes to every training that has been offered to me. That is the only difference, right? So for her to be so below the line, that's gonna pull her down. Do you know what I mean? Do you see? I'm sure you guys we've all been there, right? I'm sure we've all been there personally, right? But she's so stuck below the line right now that her next transition would naturally be, okay, wait a second, you know, let's assess the situation. What's going on? My business isn't flourishing, not because I suck, not because, you know, this is what she's saying about herself, not because she's not meant for this business, but because she hasn't applied herself. So her above line thinking would change to, oh my gosh, what else can I do? What haven't I done that I can now do? And changing that spin and putting, you know, if you visually think of this line and you are like below, right? That's heavy weight on top of you, right? But then once you go above the line and you switch your cognition, social worker in me. Sorry, I get a little psychology based here. But when you switch your cognition, you start thinking in a different manner, it's this weight starts lifting off of you and you start seeing the bigger, bright picture, and possibilities are endless when you start going above the line. Do you understand how that thinking is it's something so simple. Literally picture a line. Are you below it or are you above it when you have a problem and a challenge? You know, and it's okay. Like you went below for a little bit, totally fine. It's not like we're all human, right? But you got to pull yourself back up.
And I personally I can relate to this. You know, like I just had a show last week. It was a lovely show. It's over $700, and I walked there and there was no booking, and I was like, oh crap. It's the reality of it. So like now my brain is like, at first I was like, my brain started changing to, it's not over yet. What can I do to make a difference? So I started thinking, I need to send everybody the recipe that we made and thank them for the order. I need to let them know we haven't closed the show yet, and there's still time to so my brain went from, oh crap, I just really suck at this business. You know, I really did think as I walked out here, if this would have been Michael's show, it would have been $1,400. It's not, as long as you don't stay below the line, like you said, then it's okay to have your 5 minutes and then get over the pity party.
Yeah. And you guys, the most important message
you know what? Just really quick. You know what, you guys? If you can all put yourself on mute, most of you are, and I'm trying to figure out where the noise is so I can put you on mute.
Are you investigating the situation?
Yeah.
What can I do?
She's going above the line. She's like, what else can I do here?
Right.
Not, I hate Zoom, this sucks. She's like, what else?
Thank you.
Okay, you guys, so I would say that a big piece for you all to do is write on a Post-it note or something, what else can I do, and put it in your office. I do have little messages like this to keep me thinking in that more positive spin, because this is a mental business, right? Network marketing, direct sales is a very emotional business, and it's a roller coaster. So you need to keep yourself in check. So I would suggest you write, what else can I do? That is what successful people say when they're faced with a challenge, okay? And now we're going to go, I just wanted to read one quote on accountability, and then Laura's going to go into another piece of this. Okay, so it was all about accountability as well. You're going to learn that from this book. You guys, it's such an easy read. Go get the book. It's $11.
Yeah. You know what? Tell them it's on Audible. It is on Audible, because I had it.
It's not Audible as well. I even suggest getting a few for different teammates that are on your team, for different consultants that you have that you know are flourishing or on that tipping scale of like doing something really cool in their business. What a great gift to give them, a little piece of happy mail for them. Okay, so accountability is a personal choice to rise above one's circumstances and demonstrate the ownership necessary for achieving desired results. To see it, to own it, to solve it, and to do it. That sounded very dramatic.
Well done.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead into the see it portion, a little bit about that.
Right. So we're just doing a couple of the different it's that you want to do. So I don't know. Yeah, you want to hold this up there for them to see. So the call to actions for the 4 different things were see it, own it, solve it, and do it. And somehow we can get these out to everybody, but we're going to talk about see it and solve it today. And I know even Tiffany's on it. She was with us too in Pennsylvania. So hey,
we can add this somewhere, right? A download for this, maybe?
So the big thing about see it, what is the reality I most need to acknowledge, okay? This was a tough one, but here we go. So Love Carpenter shared the see it portion of it, and she shared her top 10 on how she turned her things around in her business that were just pivotal. So number 1 is treat your business like a business, right? How many of us sometimes don't do that? I love saying to my team, you know, if you were your own boss, would you fire yourself or not? You know, like what have you done for your business? Number 2, focus on income producing activities, right? Don't play office, but actually things that are making you some money. Number 3, work as hard for yourself as you would for someone else, right? And there's so many heads nodding up and down here. It's cute. Number 4, get a buddy, an accountability partner. And I think the key to this is don't get somebody that you know really well. Get somebody who's actually going to hold you accountable. Get somebody outside your circle. But be careful how you pick it, because you really want no negativity, right? You want somebody that's going to hold you accountable. You want somebody that's going to stay above the line with you, okay? Number 5 was no negativity ever. Protect yourself, okay? I know I've had groups that I've been in and kind of take a step back from them, the negativity, right? Recently, there was some posts on some Facebook groups. I literally just unfollowed. I'm like, gotta just get out of there. You can't be in that spot. Number 6, never give up. Always, always keep a positive attitude. I know it's sometimes hard. We've all been there, Nicole. Number 7, just do it. Don't wait for it to be perfect. Okay. If you haven't jumped into the virtual world, just do it. I know I was pushed into it myself because Jessica was doing, I'm like, crap, I got to learn how to do this. So it forced me to do it. And I just like found somebody who'd do a virtual party and figured it out. Right. Number 8, be duplicatable. Systems for everything, form the right habits. And I'm going to encourage all of you to use the Pampered Chef systems because they're there. They're duplicatable. You can grab them right from the website anytime. They don't have to redo it all. Number 9, be willing to grow, learn, invest in yourself. Make growth part of your daily agenda. One of the things with LEAD is they really encourage you to read books, and just 10 pages a day is 3,000 pages a year, right? So how many books is that? Like, that's so cool. And it's just 10 pages, right? And I think that's something that they push more in LEAD than in LEAD Plus. Because, right, Carrie?
No, they did.
Did they? Okay. So it's a great thing, I think, for everybody, whether you're in it or not. Number 10, now matters. There's 7 days in a week, but some day is not one of them. Right?
Oh, I love that.
Okay. So some other things from the book that I pulled out. Examine your blind spots. What are you not strong in? Can you partner with somebody to get stronger in it, to learn from other people, you know, be a student of the business. Use your ears more than your eyes, right? 2 ears. More than your mouth even. Use your ears, right? And then seek feedback, because there's so many people that can help. You know, what do I need to work on more? What do you think we should do? Okay. So that's the see it portion of it.
So I kind of went over the solve it part of it already. Okay, so you guys, the solve it piece is basically the meat of the solve it piece is that what else can I do? Okay, so if you just ask yourself that, you're taking that approach to solve it. The book comes with this right here. Let me turn it here so they can see it first. But
you can.
You got yours. Okay. So the book comes with this. So it's a nice little pull out. You can put somewhere, but it shows their diagram. Of see it, own it, solve it, and do it. So. You get that with your 1155 too. There you go, a little glossy insert.
It says there's only 20 copies left.
Oh yeah,
there'll be more.
Laura and I are spreading the word. That's why.
Another thing in the Wisdom of Oz book is they have little quotes from each section, and the one that Jess did on Solve It, it says, "Look beyond the quick fix. think as if your life depended on it. You've got to move a lot of dirt to get to the gold. And then action often produces results, even if you don't know what you're doing. Right? All righty, what are we going to do next?
Could I add an interjection?
Yeah.
Please,
Yes. We did Wisdom of Oz at executive seminar. And one of the strategies they had us going through is, at seeing what the real problem is key. And then instead of blaming the weather, Pampered Chef, the economy, my sucky team, whatever, you have to own it yourself. Like, what could I do? This is my problem. But the solving it, have you guys heard of the 80-20 rule, right? The Pareto principle. So if you could brainstorm and the juices were flowing, and let's say I need more shows. I could do a cooking class you come up with 1.5 million things that you could do to generate more sales. And then you look at the list, and there's probably 20% of the items you have on the list would produce 80% of the results. So the successful companies and the successful people have a knack of figuring out what would be the most income producing action, or what would be the smartest thing for me to do. And not try to tackle everything, and not being split into 1 million pieces, but have some forethought to say, okay, these 5 things I think would generate the most results. Just wanted to add that to it.
That was a great closer on that piece. Thank you. That was fantastic. No, they like looking at you.
No, I think.
All right, we'll take it. Okay. Why don't you go ahead on the worksheet then?
Okay. So I'm not sure if everybody on Zoom got this yet. We can figure out how to get it to you. But another thing that we did was we worked through my scorecard. And this is a worksheet that we had that kind of broke down your year. Okay. And I always think at the end of the year, it's really important to go through your year with your team. Whether they've had a successful year in your eyes, their successful year is different than what you think. So whether they've done, 1 show for the month or, 100 shows for the month, you need to kind of congratulate them on being successful for what they wanted. So does everybody know that the end of year recognition reports are out there? Okay. This is something that I do every year. I do it at conference for the excellence year, but I also do it for the end of the year. And I just create a little piece of paper that says, Heather, you've done 100 shows. This is your party average. It's all in those reports. I basically just take those reports and put it on a piece of paper like a certificate for them. But what it lets them see is, those girls that think they're working Pampered Chef all the time, maybe they've only done 12 shows in the year. So it's really eye-opening to see, oh, you've worked 1 day a month, you've earned this much money. What would happen if you did 2 days a month? And if you, stepped it up to full-time or whatever you want it to be. And maybe they're really happy with 1 day a month, but we can kind of, congratulate them on what they've done. What do you want to change? Are you happy with where you are? And let's, set some future goals for yourself. So anyway, this scorecard, all the information is in your performance tracker that you want to grab and save or print or whatever, your prior year comparison that all directors have access to. So this report has a lot of the information, and then also the performance details, which is it's the button on the left. You girls all know that one too, right? Okay. So all these numbers come from there. So was it eye-opening for any of you to put your numbers down on paper to see where you are? Oh, sure. It's really eye-opening to see your whole year in one picture. But what it also lets you do is see your averages. So like my average monthly number of shows was 7.9. So I know I want to go to 10 a month for myself personally. I want to add some virtuals or add more live shows, kind of want to break it down. So my team recruiting was 1.6 per month. I know my team needs to recruit. Now my organization, Jessica was the organization recruiting. She did phenomenal. She had 24 recruits. So she's working on her team recruiting. I'm working on my team recruiting. But together now we can see, she's got some goals set. I've got some goals set as an organization. So let's do some more virtual earning opportunities. Let's do some more training on recruiting. So these numbers kind of let you see what you need to work on. if you're happy with, you know, where your personal sales are, where your income is, you can see, you know, kind of where you fall and on averages. Okay. It also lets you see like your active consultants, your end count, all those different numbers. Anybody see anything that they're like, wow, I didn't realize I was doing this or that? Or
who filled it out prior to coming today?
Oh,
okay, so you guys have some hard numbers there in front of you, right?
it was homework.
So it's such a great way to set your goals now for 2018 when you see these numbers, right? Because if you're looking to grow your business, obviously your numbers are going to be higher this year, correct? So look at your numbers as we kind of go into the next segment here, which is going to be, and this is all stemming from obviously the retreat that Laura and I went on. That's where we're grabbing this kind of flow here. You guys.
You know what, before she goes into that, I want to say, sometimes, you know, like we're spoiled. We get to hear Patty and Marie and Nancy Jo all the time. And sometimes, you know, sorry, it's like hearing your mom. You just don't hear it right all the time, right? Because I said to Nancy Jo when I did this, I said, I'm sure that you've said this before, but I didn't hear it from you. Okay, so one of the big things on goals that I heard is everybody in the coffee talk group, those Saturday morning calls are huge. If you're not in it, we can add you in those. April Shilling did a call on. I was like, oh my God. I think somebody's vacuuming.
I know.
Somebody's got the vitamin sign.
Like, wow.
Oh my.
Sorry.
I hope it's good. Green smoothie maybe.
But the call on goals, she really broke it down really great for me. And like I said, I finally heard it. And one thing that she did was like, write down 5 things you want to accomplish in your business. And then she, you know, like add 5 more. And then it was like, what's the one thing that if you accomplish that goal, it's going to make the rest of the goals kind of happen as well. And the one thing that I put was graduate from Lead Plus. Well, that's going to be the 8 shows a month. That's going to be the 2 recruits a month. So like that one goal, if I focus on that, it's going to help all those other little goals. It's going to increase my income. It's going to like it. I don't know. Like I said, I finally heard it that way. So jump into those. You're not on those.
Okay.
Do we want to give out this? Would this be a good time to give out that phone?
We can.
It's
we
a
can
group
always
that they
post
can
it in that.
we can
Right.
be added to.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Get
just
added to
it's already
the group.
a post on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let them go to the group. And
They should go to the group and just
get join
join the group.
And
it's
then
it's all capital letters Coffee Talk.
Yeah.
So everybody should be able to find it.
Yeah.
If not, message one of us and we'll add
to
them.
add everybody because if you're not friends with them, you can't add them and you'll have 100.
So find somebody you're friends with that's in the group.
Yeah. There you go. Or just
I'm
go.
not in it.
Yeah, I added you.
Oh, you did?
Yes. Yeah, you're in it.
Laura,
Yeah,
Laura.
Somebody has a question.
Question?
Laura, this is Nancy Jo.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, your beautiful faces. I apologize. I'm in the mountains and can't do it. Anyway, I would also, are you going to encourage people to go to once they've got their goals, to go to the income calculators so they can see what their actual income would raise once they...
Not everybody has it.
Not everybody has that yet, Patty and Marie are saying.
Well, I think most of our people at the table have it because we sent them the, I highly recommend doing that because then you're going to actually see concrete numbers of what you're going to earn when you achieve it. So Patty and Marie, if you haven't done it with your people or if there's anybody else in my downline that needs it done, let me know. But I think I did it with 56 of you. So
okay, Patty and Marie said they're working on it with their teams right now.
Okay, great.
Awesome. All right.
Okay. All right, you guys, we're going to do a fun little activity. Get excited. Okay. So, and you guys too, over there in web world, you can do this too. Okay. So what I would like you to do, and we did this at retreat, by the way, but it's very simple. So I would like you to repeat the words, I can't, 3 times. Okay. On the count of 3. Ready? Out loud. Ready? 1, 2. Blair's like, I'm not doing it because I can. Okay.
Like, okay. No below the line, girl.
Okay.
Come on.
Blair's shaking her head. She's like, nope, I don't do that. Okay, ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. I can't. Again. I can't. Okay. Feels ugly, right? To say that? Okay. On the count of 3, we're going to say I can. 3 times, okay? 1, 2, 3. I can, I can, I can. I can, I can, I can. Okay, so I'm just doing an observation around the table, and I saw people going, I can, I can, I can, which is such a big difference of the way that you feel. You're actually your facial structure changes when you say those words, I can, versus I can't. So I just thought that was one of those things that was like, you can physically see the difference and you can internally feel the difference when you are saying I can versus I can't. So really think about that, you guys. I think it also goes into how we coach our teams as well, right? So if we're thinking that, or we're saying that I can't do something, that enters that whole law of attraction piece, right? So who here is aware of Jim Rohn, has learned from Jim Rohn at all? If you haven't, Jim Rohn does a really great series on the law of attraction. I highly recommend you, even if you have learned from Jim Rohn, revisit his teachings again. You can get his book on Amazon. You guys, there's also, if you need to listen to him in the car, if you go to YouTube and you look up Jim Rohn, Law of Attraction, there's a whole series that you can even find it broken down in like 10-minute segments, or you can listen to the whole thing in its entirety. I think it's about like an hour and a half, I want to say. But it's really something to just keep on listening to, because it's that law of attraction that you create not only for your business to flourish, right, but for your team to flourish, and for people to want to come to you and try out the business. And it's really as simple as thinking, wow, I can do this. And so now we're going to segue into affirmations. And it's funny, I always loved affirmations, and Laura's like, I was always scared of affirmations. And that was eye-opening to see that it could be really scary for people. Tell us about your struggle with affirmations.
We were having coffee last week, and I'm like, I hated them. I thought that they were daunting. I thought that they were too deep. Like, I didn't understand the whole process of them all. And when we went, I understood a little bit more probably 6 months ago, but when we were here is where I was like, okay, this is something. They really broke them down to use the I am, to make them have a date associated with it, to not just be open-ended. And it just seems simpler and easier, not as scary. And then they even said only 6 to 8. So it's not like, before I heard, like you need 15. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's way too much to think about. So I would rather just not do it. Then, right? You giggle, but are you thinking they're kind of the same thing, right? I mean, yeah. So at the retreat, it helped me a lot.
Is it the goal piece that is scary too? Knowing that an affirmation is really like admitting your goal, right? Because it's touching on what your goal is in your business, right?
But goals don't scare me. They never have. Okay. Yeah. It's not
the process of writing the affirmation kind of scares
you?
Okay.
Yeah.
So guess what we're going to do, Laura?
Right?
We're going to practice writing them. And so are you guys. Okay. So this is, even though you guys don't have your score sheet, that's okay. I know that you all think about what you want different in your business, but all these guys here have their score sheet. So this is going to take a couple of minutes here of silence, because we're going to be working. But you guys look at your score sheet, okay? And now that you have these hard numbers in front of you, look to see what matters to you in your business. We all have different trajectories for our businesses and what we are planning to enhance on. So take this time and write it down on your piece of paper. 6 to 8 goals that you have for your business. Okay. And it could be something, it could be an attitude adjustment. It could be a numbers adjustment. It could be a recruit adjustment. It could be something different you want to train your team with, whatever your goals are within your business. And you guys, if you could do the same, and we'll work through how to turn these into affirmations.
I know. I was like, we can get a class. Right. You want 2 minutes?
We'll check in at 2 minutes. Okay. We'll see where you guys are with that.
It doesn't play music though. Just kidding.
I could sing. Or not.
Do your homework, little girl.
I am. In the form of, what are you
just
saying?
Your goals.
I am. Is it?
No, just what are your goals? Don't even worry about writing the affirmation.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
just what do you What are you trying to accomplish?
Just your goal.
And it could, it's not always
No, she's
attached
that's
to
the next
numbers
step.
per se. It could be something
just
you
your
want to
goals.
try with your business or for yourself.
Yeah. I mean, if it helps,
Okay.
whatever it is.
Yeah, you could all be numbers, whatever it is. What are your goals? Something new you want to try?
This is
Something
a
you
nice
want
way
to
to
hands
break it down
on?
for your
Something
teams,
you want your team to
My years
learn from or grow from?
so that they not like forget it. I'm not doing it like I was.
So this is my personal sales. Is this my personal team, and then I have to add
1
these
minute
in?
down.
Or are all those rolled up into there?
Go to priority.
Yeah. Does everybody know where to get their
Oh,
numbers from? Did you all
yeah.
see? Everybody's good with that. Okay.
And it is.
And you don't have to be sharing this, just so you know, so don't freak out. We're not gonna make you guys go around the table and share your goals, but we will ask for some ideas.
Do you want to log in?
Okay, so now
I can go back there with you. Show
the
you.
numbers you need.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh,
I'm like, wait. I'm stuck.
remember.
I'm like, I'm stuck.
The road was
I'm
like,
stuck.
so do you know?
So you not
Sorry,
Yeah.
personal should be.
Okay.
That's a so just there.
Yeah.
That was
there.
Okay.
Okay, you guys, it's been 2 minutes. Would you guys like some more time to get these on? Are we good?
On my other
6
ones
to
that
8
I
would be
did,
great,
they
but
were
it's not a test either.
nine.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Okay, let's move on then. On what to do with these. Okay, so this is look at what you have written. All right, and we're gonna work on changing either all of them or just taking the concept of them and turning them into affirmations, and then talk about the art of writing a good affirmation. And I'm just curious, is anyone really great at doing affirmations yet? Is anyone like doing affirmations? Kristen is, yeah.
Yeah, I actually did. It was one of the coffee truck talk things in January.
Okay.
Yeah.
The coffee talk, they did. It was about goal setting and affirmations. And
Yeah.
it was. I mean, like I just actually went back to that exercise and pulled out all the stuff I already did.
That's right. Who did that coffee talk?
Yeah, and
It was April.
Do you
wasn't it
remember
April?
who did it?
It was April Shilling.
No, it was not that one.
No.
It was on. I'll look it up. I
Okay.
don't remember, but it was like the first one of the year.
Yeah. Okay.
The first coffee talk of the year. And
Cool.
It was eye-opening.
It was good. Okay. Okay. So you guys, would someone mind sharing one of their goals that they have on their sheets?
I would.
Yeah, Tina.
My biggest struggle right now is focus.
Okay.
And I think it's because my husband's retired now, so he's home and he just doesn't get that whole thing.
Okay.
So that's what I need to be more focused to get to the goals that I have always maintained.
Okay.
So
if you were to turn that into an affirmation, what would that sound? What would that statement be? And then we'll work from there.
anybody can chime in.
Like turn that into a statement that you would like to hear.
Wait, can you say it again, Tina?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Focus. So she wants me to have that in an affirmation.
So focus on your business. Focus
Yes.
on your business. Okay,
Yes,
so
it's
you want to make it
focus.
more specific, right? So you
Right.
want to focus more on your business this year.
Well, I've always focused on my business. I'm having trouble
Maybe
now.
it's a
This
distraction.
year.
It's a distraction.
Yeah. I guess an affirmation would be, I need to get in my office at from 1 to 5 with the doors closed and a big sign that says "Do not disturb."
Okay, what were the hours?
Do not disturb.
1 to 5,
Okay.
for sure.
So what you said is something a lot of people do, right? I need to, or I want to, is in their affirmations. And so to make it a very effective affirmation, you want to use the keyword. Every affirmation should have "I am" in it, okay? And that's going to take
I am going to.
I am, not even going. Because now when you say
Okay.
going, you are using,
Right.
you're using future words, right?
Okay.
So
I will. How about I will?
I am. I'm like, no, I am. Okay, so you guys, and after we're gonna use Tina's example and turn that into a really great affirmation for her. Okay. So you heard her give examples like I am going to, I will. You're gonna scratch that. You're gonna have it start with I am, and that is going to keep it a present goal. An affirmation is something that you've already achieved, okay? Now, you haven't really already achieved it, but you want to present it to yourself like you have already achieved this goal. And what that does is it trains your brain to realize that it can do this, right? And it's going to train your brain to realize that you are fully capable of doing this. So your goal could look like this, Tina, just an example, right? Mm-hmm. Your goal could look like, I am excited every day to work on my business from 12 until 4. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So taking I am and then adding an adjective to describe the way that you are achieving it or the way that you're feeling, and that's excited, right? I am excited to work on my business every day from 12 until 4. And that then trains your brain to realize, oh yeah, this is what I'm doing, and I'm really excited about it. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
Yep.
And when I accomplish what you're saying,
mm-hmm.
just that statement you made, when I accomplish it one day, I am excited, which is weird.
Because it's like such an accomplishment is a great feeling.
Right. And that's what I think is kind of it's not like after I've done it, I'm like, oh, that was, like I'm excited when I've had that solid block of time. I don't want to go on medication, so this is good.
Professionally, I try to keep people off medication if that's possible at all. Okay, so that's great, right? So what you would do is you would finish that up with a couple of other affirmations. So you have, okay, let me share with you my affirmation. This was built off of the retreat, right? Of me really realizing what's important for me this year in my business. So my affirmation is, I am an excited advanced director. I am an effective leader. Effective leader, and I successfully recruit 4 new team members a month, okay? If you notice the words that I used before, I am an excited advanced director, right? I'm not an advanced director yet, you guys, but I'm an excited advanced director. I am an effective leader. I'm not just a leader, but I'm effective in my leadership skills. Now, these are not all true.
No, they are.
These are all a work in progress, right?
I don't know. It sounds true to me.
But I guess my point is saying, like, this is not things that I have accomplished right now, okay? And I am, what was the other one? I am successfully recruiting 4 new people a month. Now, how do I know these? Yeah, good man. How do I know this, you guys? How do I know this affirmation by heart? Because I have it posted on my mirror in my bathroom, and I have it posted in my office door. And for me, that's the best because I'm always in my office every day, and I'm always in my bathroom probably 25 times a day, right? So I can go in there, and every time I see the Post-it note, I look at the mirror. Yeah, right. You guys remember that SNL skit? What was it? I'm strong. I'm beautiful. And strong. People love me. And people love me. And you can even finish it off with that. That'll make you feel really good.
Gosh darn it.
People love me. So you guys, if you get your affirmations together and you put them in like a little statement like what I just did, and you repeat them every day. That is out loud. Out loud. Thank you. That's the key. Out loud. And you will create that law of attraction. It's just inevitable. Obviously, you can't just say them and then go back to bed, but odds are you're not going to go back to bed if you say them out loud because you're already starting that I can feeling and vibe. Do you know what I'm saying? Does anyone have another one that maybe you want to work on? Anyone want to bring one? Yes, let me turn this.
April Shilling one.
It was, okay.
Coffee Talk, and it was... it might even been the last one of last year.
Okay.
Not even for January. So it might have been the last one of December. And it was all on goal setting, and it was super 15-minute hard work goal setting activity, but it completely changed my outlook for the new year.
Yeah. And April Shilling, she was the one that even presented on affirmations, wasn't she? Yeah. So, and I did listen to that coffee talk. So I was like, I thought it was hers, but, so anyways, you guys, if you want to also get that kind of saturated in you again, go, like Kristen said, go into April Shilling's coffee talk. It was the last one that we had presented to us, and listen to that. She was really very concrete, to the point. And yeah, so you guys can look at that. Does anyone have another one that maybe you don't know how to turn it into an affirmation that you want to share? Anyone? You guys all understand the art of making an affirmation?
Anybody willing to share their affirmation?
No, no, it's scary because they're goals, right?
I am a developer of directors. Motivated, hardworking people are attracted to my team.
Yeah,
and that's on a post-it note right by my.
Wait, let's hear it again. What does yours say?
I am a developer of directors. Hardworking, motivated consultants are attracted to my team.
Okay, and what I would add in there to make it even more powerful for yourself, I am a dynamic developer of directors.
I am a dynamic.
So it's those adjectives.
I am a dynamic developer of directors.
Look at you shine.
I am a dynamic. I am a dynamo.
Your eyes sparkle.
Dynamic.
And then you're going to think of developer. Even if I'm not alive anymore. Even if I'm not alive.
You guys are still with us. Congratulations.
Hey, does anyone, why don't we ask them? Because they're going to sit there.
Are you, yeah, maybe somebody
want to share,
chat button.
raise your hand if you want to share your affirmation, you guys, to kind of bring you into this meeting a little bit more. Anybody? And you're smiling. Who's that one right there? She's smiling. Yes, you're just saying
She's
no.
going no.
Yes.
Who is that?
Who is that?
I don't know.
I don't know. Who is that?
You got the glasses on and the white
Nancy.
cabinet.
Oh, Nancy.
Okay.
Let's unmute her.
Nancy, come on, Nancy. We're gonna change your life right now, Nancy. Are you excited about that? Okay.
Nancy,
I'm excited.
Okay. Okay, Nancy.
Volume up. Is that as high as it goes?
I don't know, but this is fun. I love.
Okay, Nancy, we can all hear you.
Okay, Nancy.
All right. I'm an excited lead participant, and I have graduated and look forward to being in Lead Plus.
Yay! Okay, awesome. Say it one more time. I am an excited lead graduate.
I'm an excited lead graduate.
Check. That's awesome. What was the other half?
And ready to looking forward to participating in Lead Plus.
And I am excited about, and I am excited. I'm a new excited Lead Plus member. How about that?
There you go. Okay.
You see how that first one was spot on? That second one was a little too as if I'm going to, but you want to change it to I am right now. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. So you shook your head now. You got a little uncomfortable, Nancy. So something, and there's magic that happened right there.
Yes.
All right. I think that's it. We're done.
Yeah.
Laura and I are done talking. Thanks,
Let's
you guys.
give them all a hand. Yay! Okay.
I am good enough. I'm smart
Still
enough.
put it on
and
you because I have a couple
people
questions
like
about the retreat. Do you guys mind putting it back on you? And I'm going to just ask you a couple questions. You were able to see different people, and I know the Wisdom of Oz was a focus, but you also heard Stacy Itzel.
Yeah.
Donna Landy was there. You had
Donna wasn't. Donna was
Yeah, Donna.
Becky.
Who are the two new nationals? Is there anything that you remember, any thing about creating that team culture, or anything that you took away from them that you would be willing to
How
share?
about something from each of them? Because you had all of the
I don't know that we have
Oz people, the lion and
I mean, we obviously it was a lot of hours, and
I put it all in Evernote for you.
Who has it in Evernote?
Oh, Tiffany.
Tiffany.
Oh yeah, Tiffany.
Oh my gosh, can you share that, Tiffany?
Yeah, I can share it.
Tiffany's a very diligent note taker. Like, she's just really good at that stuff. So yeah, I think
her affirmation is I am the Evernote.
And she already does. She doesn't even need to say that. You know, either you can send it to me.
Tiffany would like to share.
Tiffany, why don't you share? Can you share? Did you hear that question, Tiffany? Tiffany?
She's got herself on mute again.
Oh wait, hold on. No,
Yeah,
okay.
I can. So you're talking about like what Stacy said?
No.
Or yes. My question was, it's fine. You guys have it. My question was, since you attended and you got to see some people that we don't normally see, like Stacy Itzel, Donna Landy, was there anything that you took away from them? Because they just became a national. They had a team that exploded in size. Anything that you thought was significant outside of the Wizard of Oz training? Just something that
Yeah, actually, I've when she was doing her 10-man / see it section, she said this business as a whole is kind of like a roller coaster. We have ups and downs, and we build momentum. Mm-hmm. Or you can be on a merry-go-round and you're moving, but you're not going anywhere, and you're dizzy and you're sick to your stomach. So true ownership does not come from the outside; it comes from within. Which ride are you going to be on, the roller coaster or the merry-go-round? Change the ride.
Change the ride.
Wow.
Ooh.
Something else that Stacy said, it's all about time management and making choices. And she did have to give up things to be where she is, but it was worth it in the long run. You know, you could pick and choose what you're giving up. One-on-one, Jess and I were talking to her. Because Jess wants to move up fast, like Stacy did. She said she personally recruited and qualified 40 plus a year for, I think, the last 5 years. Wow. So but it helps you to see how she got to where she got to. You have to have that pool of people, and that's what she did. And the book that she recommended the most was Procrastinate on Purpose. This was a Q&A we had with all the nationals and execs that were there.
I asked her about show count, and like Laura, you were talking about that earlier. And so I actually had her look at my numbers, and one of the glaring things she noticed was the number of cooking shows I was doing. And I recently asked Patty about this. If you remember, Patty, we were messaging, and she said she did last year 185 shows, 82 were virtual, 100 plus were cooking. So that's why my new goal is, yes, I had been averaging 100 shows, but I hadn't been doing 100 cooking shows.
Yeah. Another thing to piggyback on Stacy Itzel there, Tiffany, is she shared this with this was Love Carpenter, who I love, by the way. I just love Love Carpenter. She's just like to the point. I love her. Okay. So Love shared with us, these are key recruiting numbers and what they're going to do for your business, okay? First of all, the motto also was recruiting fixes everything, right? It's going to fix the way that you approach your business, because now you are being held as an example because you've got new recruits. It helps with your momentum, because there's nothing more exciting than new recruits who are energetic and excited to start their business. So it keeps your momentum going. And obviously it fixes your income. You're going to make more money, so it really does fix everything. So that was key. But Love shared some just numbers on recruiting and what they will do for your team. So she says recruiting, now these are obviously qualification numbers, but recruiting and qualifying 6, okay, is working backwards every year, all right? Recruiting 7 to 11, you'll still struggle some months with that number, okay, 7 to 11. Recruiting 12 to 17 will maintain a consistent business, so that's great. Recruiting 18 to 24 will have strong personal growth for your business. So these numbers are obviously coming from this panel of national and executive level and so forth. So they've worked through these numbers. So I thought that was huge. Does anyone need me to repeat those numbers?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So recruiting 6 is working backwards for your business.
Personal recruits.
Yep. Personal recruits. Recruiting 7 to 11, you're going to still struggle some months in your business. Recruiting 12 to 17, you will maintain a consistent team. And 18 to 24, you will have strong personal growth.
Which you saw.
Yes. Stacy Itzel told me I need to recruit 40 a year. Like, okay, so it's in my affirmation. She went from director to advanced director, I think in like a 5-month span, but then 5 months later she went to executive level. So she was in the business for a little over a year, I think, before she became director, if I remember her saying correctly. And then about a few months later, she became advanced director, and then 5 months later moved to executive team. Yeah, fast, right?
Yeah. And those of you who are on the director
Familiar.
page, those Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh, is that Nancy Jo?
Yeah.
Jess, this is
Yeah.
Nancy Jo.
Hi, Nancy.
Sounds like 38, right?
Are you referring?
Right?
Who are you referring to?
I'm referring to you. Remember I told you to recruit 38? You asked what my largest year was?
So, yes.
Sounds
Okay.
familiar.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I have your numbers on my office, Nancy, and I look and I see, and I tell myself, you told me, Nancy, do 38 the first year. I did not make that goal, but I did 24. But yeah, so there's many of us here that have done more than that, trust me.
Right.
Blair has done, how many did you do your first year? 50 or something personal? 50. So Blair did 50.
Woo!
Crazy. But yeah, so the goal is, if you guys can see, I'm not afraid to set my bar higher. But if you don't set the bar higher, you're never going to get closer to it. Do you know what I mean? So isn't it better to set your bar at 40 recruits and come in at what, maybe 25 or 30? Isn't that better than setting the bar at 25 recruits and coming in at 15? You know, so don't be afraid
the abundance mentality.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was saying before, Stacy Itzel did the director success, those Wednesday calls that home office is doing right now. And one of the other things she said was that getting a whole group of people together in those virtual opportunity events creates such excitement where, you know, Jess and I have been doing them, but it's just our two groups, so that's smaller. So we're adding a couple other people to build that excitement, because if you get 2 and I get 2 and everybody gets, you know, 2 or 3, and then your team is adding people too.
Right.
So I encourage you to, you know, group up with people around the country and work together for these virtual opportunity events. You know, if you can take turns doing them, it's not going to add more time, but, you know, like, work together to get them.
It also helps
down.
get your team out of the little bubble of your team, right? And helps them expand their wings a little bit, and that creates independency, right? When they're able to connect with another rep across the country because you created an environment where they could network with other Pampered Chef consultants, it really helps create that sense of ownership in their business and a sense of belonging. Right? Because they might not feel that they completely belong when their director is doing all of this and they're nowhere close. That's hard to connect. You know what I mean? And you can only, you know, obviously, as we all humble ourselves, but our numbers are our numbers. They're still hard numbers, and they can be intimidating, right? But when you're expanding your training programs with other consultants, when you're expanding, you know, opportunity events, it's creating a bigger pool of networking for your consultants, and that, you know, that can go a long way.
You know why? Because then they don't just see you as the recruiter. They're looking across the country and going, hey, she's a brand new consultant, she's doing this. I mean, they can tell, and they see
share
what's
ideas.
possible. What's possible.
Possibility thinking.
Absolutely.
Okay. Have you guys heard of abundance mentality? Okay. Well, let's look at it this way. What would be potential causes of stress in your Pampered Chef business on a monthly basis?
Not enough bookings.
Not enough bookings.
Not enough sales.
Not enough sales.
Not enough active consultants.
Not enough active consultants.
Not enough attending meetings.
Not enough attending meetings. Not enough attending shows.
Too many consultants dropping.
Too many consultants dropping. And so it ends up being like a stressful kind of thing. It's like you're on the ledge, you know? Have you ever thought about like being on the ledge and it's like the Grand Canyon and you're going to tip off? Oh, please, it needs to be above so I look 10
I know.
pounds.
Why do you think I'm doing that? But then there's that light back there, so I can't.
You need to sit on the floor. Sit on the floor.
It's because of the light.
I've had a very good Christmas. What can I say? Yes, I did.
Talk about abundance, right?
Abundance. I had an abundance of
Food and fun.
everything, fun and food and family and friends. So, which was a good thing. But the abundant, so it's always stressful. You're always at that 11th hour on the last day of the month, hoping somebody submits a show. You're looking for that last order to complete a show so that it is enough to qualify. And it creates the stress response. You know, your adrenaline is going, it is hard on the body. It's hard on the mind. And it's stressful. When we have things like Green by 15, things that bring up, what would be having abundance? Like, what would it feel like to have an abundant business? Let's go around.
Exciting.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Magical.
Magical.
Right?
What are some of the things that would be abundant?
Seriously.
Tell me what an abundance looks like.
Empowering.
Empowering. But like reality,
So
like
you
how
get
many
an
people come
email
and do
that
your
says,
show?
You have someone that just joined your personal team. Lots of new consultants.
Abundance of sales.
Abundance of
$1,000
sales.
show every time.
$1,000 shows.
Makes you feel successful.
Makes you feel
Right?
successful.
3 bookings at every party.
3 bookings at every
Recruits
party.
joining at every
Recruits joining at every
12
party.
to 15 people.
12 to 15 people at a party.
Mm-hmm.
People buying grill pans and rock rocks and,
Yeah.
you know, the big stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let's say, what would it feel like if your team was green on the 5th of the month?
Wow.
Amazing. I love that.
Wow. So that was a natural
Amazing.
reaction.
Relief. So there is there's this whole philosophy of life. What does it feel like to live an abundant life? And abundance is having more than you need, or so many good things coming in that there's not a stress. You're doing things because you want to do. A long time ago, Nancy Joe, I can't remember who did the quadrants: urgent, important, but not.
Tony Alessandra?
Tony Alessandra? Okay,
Yep.
so if you made a plus sign in the middle of the page, and I can't remember.
Left corner.
Top left corner was important and urgent. The bottom, to the top right was important but not urgent. The bottom was not important, not urgent, and the bottom right was not important but urgent. So the bottom right is like you're doing your own work and you get a call from your kid who says, "Mom, I forgot my band instrument." Or I forgot my lunch. It's important or urgent to somebody else. And then it kind of totally hijacks you. Important and urgent are things that have to be done right now. And they're really important to your business growing into your life. But the magic sweet spot is to work on things that are important but not urgent. So that is maybe training consultants. That might be working on your team meeting weeks before it happens. It might be planning for a vacation before it happens. It's important, it's not urgent, so that by the time you get to that event, things are already planned, things are already done, there's no sense of panic, and it's really an important thing that's going to grow your business, be important for your family, whatever. And so it's hard to try to keep in that quadrant, but working towards an abundant mentality. So let's just look at I'll be Joe Friday here instead of Marie Friday. Let's look at the facts, ma'am.
Do you think everybody knows what that is?
I am so old that most people don't know. Dragnet, let's look at the facts, ma'am. So the facts are, what do we know about party hours from cooking shows versus virtual? What can anybody tell me?
Twice as much.
Twice as much. For most people, it's at least 300 or more difference. So in terms of how much time does it take you, if you're prepped and ready to go and you're making the same recipe at each and every show for the month and your car is packed, how much does a in-person show take you? 2 hours, 3 hours.
Are you talking about total?
Yeah, let's say,
and
you're using your express checkout. You're kind of, when you figure out what you make per hour, doing that kind of show versus virtual, there's going to be a difference. Where the sweet spot comes in is like, what do they call the icing on the cake? Virtual shows are great if they're icing on the cake. They're that extra that contributes to earning the trip, to meeting new people that you want to meet, but it is not the bread and butter. It is not for, I'm just talking in my own opinion.
Because there are
and
people
I
that
will,
are making it.
okay, to be truthfully honest, I like real food, real friends, real fun. Okay? I like to sit in front of a friend and have a glass of wine instead of a picture of a glass of wine with a thumbs up. Okay? So I am prejudiced. I also feel like Pampered Chef is a people business. Do you agree?
Mm-hmm. Oh gosh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What excites you? Think about one of your proudest Pampered Chef moments. Let's just say selling. You know, you're at a show, you're with a hostess, you're with somebody who's purchased products from you before. Would anybody be willing to share a proud moment? Yes.
I really love it when someone comes to my parties. This is just honest. Like, when someone comes to my parties and they're like, oh my God, that rock crack I bought, like I made blah, 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 blah. Or in my stoneware, I make this. I absolutely love it. Like, I just like that. It's really satisfying when someone uses what I sold to them and they're producing like a meal or bonus.
Excellent.
I'll share something that happened yesterday at a show. It was a second show I had done for this host, so it was some of the same people that I've worked with before. And I was really passionate. They're just a really fun crowd. And I was like, and I really hope that you can sense my passion. And I really love what I do. And this is my new classroom. And I was going on and on. And she's like, listen, it's not anything that is about Pampered Chef. She's like, it's about you. You are the reason I come back. I was like, oh my God, thank you. You know?
I'm going to cry. It was a nice show.
And it took me back and I could feel my face get red. And I'm just like, well, thank you so much. Because I'm like so happy to hear that because you never know. You don't know what will come off. Right. You know, and I know being a classroom teacher, you have to have a command over the room. And sometimes I feel like I might be pushy or, you don't know. And so when she's like, no, you're the reason I come back. And I was like, wow, thank you.
Wow. Awesome. I just got inspired.
Yeah.
Sure. Do we want to ask the peanut gallery if they have anything to share? Okay. Hey, you guys, does anyone have a moment that that resonates in your mind as something that happened in a show that you want to share? Go first. Patty, come on.
Okay,
look at her.
Saying anything.
She's like,
you have to unmute yourself if you're muted. Yeah. Just anybody?
Anybody have anything?
Come on.
I'm not going to pick on the same one again.
I know. I'm like, I see Lisa.
Just anything.
She put her hand over her eyes.
You guys
I'm like,
share, that's fine.
it's hard to tell who everyone is. You've got hats on and like, come on, I can't.
Here,
well,
but if you go like
this.
There we go.
Let me ask you this. How about from your family? Does anybody have a proud family moment about what Pampered Chef has done in your life and your children or spouse? Anybody have a proud family moment?
Am I talking too much?
No, love.
My daughter just did her first live video on my page last week. That was cool. She made chocolate frozen bananas in our herb freezing tray. And she did it start to finish, even though our chocolate caught on fire. So that was kind of crazy, but she's 7 and she's like, Mom, can I go live on your page and do a video?
How old is she?
7. Oh, wow. Yeah. And so it's just her confidence and her happiness and knowing that this is part of our family is awesome.
Awesome. It will help with her future presentation skills.
Well, I have one.
Oh, good. Who is that? Who's sharing?
This is Tiffany.
I knew it, Tiffany. I was going to.
So, the boxes of the new products arrived Saturday, like minutes before we had to leave for a swim meet. And then I had to go to a show, so I didn't get to open them. So I opened them Sunday morning, and my kids came home from being at my in-laws and were so mad that I had opened the new products without them. Because they are as excited as I am when the boxes arrive, and they want to make videos about them and they want to show them off. So like, I really love how involved they become, and they're 11 and 13 now.
What? Oh, that is wonderful. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. We got one more, Laura. Yay.
So she is so excited to go to her island with me. So it's going to be a mother-daughter trip, and she knows because of Pampered Chef.
That is awesome.
She's 13. She'll actually be 14 just 2 days after the trip.
Wow.
So yeah, it'll be like a nice little like pre-birthday celebration. And she's an avid nature enthusiast and birding, and this is going to be like all about her. Instead of her brother tagging along, not wanting to do his stuff. She's just so excited. Mom, I'm so excited to go just with you.
Oh, that is awesome.
And she's saying that at 13. That's a good sign.
I know. That's exactly what I was thinking.
So, there's something in the center of the table. Would Melanie, do you want to read this side, and then I'll have Laurel read the other side?
Sure. 3 cultures to nurture in my organization. Culture for teamwork and monthly activity. Culture for fast-paced recruiting growth. Culture for career plan advancement.
The role of a Pampered Chef leader is to build a large and productive personal team from which you continually develop new directors and help them to promote and level.
Sounds like affirmations to me.
Very good. So we are a people business, and we're a people business on all kinds of levels. So I would encourage you to really work and hone on that whole kitchen show experience training. All of you who went to conference, excuse the noise in the background. I don't know.
I am.
Cell phone I am.
So no, it's a sales call.
It's just a
Yeah.
political surveys are ringing my phone too.
Yeah. So anyway, what I would like to emphasize with all of you is there's going to be a new training. You heard it on.
Oh,
okay. It's my cousin. Okay. You might meet her if you go to San Diego. She is my plus one.
Oh, is she going to be? Okay,
yeah.
you decided. Okay.
Yeah. Well, Jim doesn't want to go off school. So, all right. Where was I? The experience training. Conference attendees between now and spring launch have access to get to the experience training. Pampered Chef will be rolling out some new important material that you will not have access to unless you have a certificate that you've completed the class. So as conference attendees, if you want to be the first person on January 30th or February 1st to have access to that material, you not only have to take the classes, you have to click that you've completed, and at the end of the whole section, you click the button that you get a certificate for having completed it.
And if I can just add to that, I was in the pilot.
Oh, we want to hear from.
Hi. I was in the home office pilot for the virtual party experience. You guys will not want to miss it. It is incredible. It did help increase my virtual party sales a little bit, and I even got a recruit from it. So you will definitely want to take that training and don't miss out.
But you won't have access to the training.
Unless you went to conference.
And you are certified.
And you are certified, yes.
With all of it.
So there's going to be something new that you won't be able to get to unless you have a certificate of completion. So
of what?
For cooking.
Experience training, that's on
the
there.
Party training. There's there's virtual.
All right.
And
So the second thing that I'm going to say is if you don't already have this as a mantra, NPS. Big letters, NPS. Who can tell me what that stands for?
Net Promoter Score.
Net Promoter Score. That's what Pampered Chef is looking at, and that is going to be the secret to exponential growth this year. Not only for you, but for your team. Net Promoter Score means that when a person leaves your party and they are asked, would they ever go, how likely are they to go to another party? You want them to say, I loved it, I can't wait to go to the next one. And if they were asked, would you recommend going to a Pampered Chef party to your friends? They would say yes. And if they were asked, how likely are you to host a party yourself? they would say, I would be more than half likely to host a party myself. And would you recommend a friend having a party? They would say yes. So sometimes we think we've done a great show because the sales are enormous or whatever. We feel like we were on fire. But if no one wants to go, if they're one and done, you're toast. Okay? You've made the sale that night. Yes, you're burnt toast. I'm sorry. I'm just telling you how it is.
She's scary.
That's not what you want for a growing, abundant culture. And yes, you can add people to your team, and they can generate those initial 4 or 5 shows. But if they go through that 4 or 5 shows and they're done because nobody booked, we might as well have, no, I won't say it, something that you make with toast, you know. But so you want your group to be growing and thriving. And so as we focus on the whole show experience, we want people to have fun at our shows, and it might look different. Think about why somebody takes a cooking class. Why does somebody, pay $5 for Starbucks instead of, pennies at home? Or they could get their coffee at McDonald's instead of Starbucks, So we have choices. And I just read an article in the Tribune this weekend, and it talked about how the millennials really value experience over other things. And so if we want to have a growing culture and a growing team, we really got to kind of circle in and figure out, what does it mean to have a phenomenal show experience? And at the retreat we're doing in Austin, we're going to be putting a little energy behind having sing along with me. There's no business like show business. So, and what does it mean to create the best, to be the best showman? What does it mean to be the director, the producer, the talent scout, and hopefully the award winner? So anyway, we are going to stop the little video here, and we have something under covers on my table. And anybody want to say anything? Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thanks, ladies. Thanks for including us.
To say something.
Bree?
Yes. Nance, we hear you.
Before you shut off the video, can I do recognition?
Sure. Let Ann finish her thought, and then I will turn it. You will have the floor. Go ahead.
Fantastic.
I think I may have stumbled upon something. I live in a subdivision that has a homeowners association, and they sent out a survey recently, like, what would you be interested in doing, safety issues, there's a lot of seniors in our neighborhood, do you need help with changing light bulbs, blah, 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 blah. And one of the questions was having a cooking class. Well, I perked up and was like, yeah, I'm all over that. So they are doing a cooking class at our local grocery store, Hy-Vee. Number one, there is a $200 room charge for that. And they have hired somebody that is not a dietitian. I don't really even know who she is. So I looked at her agenda, what she was going to be doing. There is a $40 fee for attending it. And she's going to be talking about the benefits of vegetables. So I was able to go to a board meeting, and I gave my presentation, and I said, well, number one, I have access to a community room, and there's no charge for the room. So right there, the association is going to pay $200. I would like to suggest that we do it as a fundraiser, because I know our association could use some extra money in their treasury. And so I kind of gave them a brief overview of what Pampered Chef was. Several of the board members have never heard of Pampered Chef. And I basically started saying this is an Illinois-based company, the history behind the company, the mission statement, and what I do at a cooking show, and how I cross-reference lots of tools and benefits of eating vegetables or healthy cooking or going for sheet pan dinners or one-pot meals. And they were very excited about it. So we have the first one scheduled in April, and we're going to try to do it monthly.
Wow!
I got to thinking, I live in Peoria. I thought, oh, there's a lot of subdivisions that have homeowners associations. Why do I need to stop with my neighborhood?
Yeah.
So I'm in the process of putting together a presentation that I kind of want to take on the road.
Excellent.
So it might be some opportunity.
Excellent. Thanks,
Excellent.
Ann.
Thank you for sharing. That's
awesome.
You go out and above and beyond, girl.
All right.
What else can I do?
What else can I do?
Those Carolyn places, you know, the 55 and over.
Yeah, we don't have any, but
Oh, you don't?
All right,
that was
Nance.
source.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, you've got it, girl.
Okay, thank you. Tina Dalton, $2,307. Woohoo!
She's sick.
Laurel House, $2,668. Woohoo! Laura Marchese, $3,502. Woohoo! Tammy Sheridan is supposed to join us online. Tammy had $3,661. Great. Marie Friday, $4,007. Woohoo! Carrie Ciesla, $6,036. Woohoo! Angie Adams had $6,115 in sales. Woohoo! Laura TL, $6,245 in sales. And Laura, I want to stop here and say thank you to you and Jess. You did a great job with your presentation. I can't wait to hear more.
Thank you.
Woohoo! Glenna Richmeyer, $7,084. Woohoo! Lisa Bailey, over 10,000 in sales. Congratulations. You rocked it. Those are the RSVPs I had. If there's more that joined, I'm glad you joined. We'll celebrate you over the next few weeks with phone calls. But really, I just came back from a retreat, well, actually 2 retreats and a couple meetings. And, you know, everybody is really jazzed about growing their business and changing their title this year. That's the mantra I'm hearing. Change your title. Change your life, change your title. So I'm really excited for this year, excited where we're going to go. And I wish I was there with all of you. Big hugs to everybody. And I'll see you all in April for sure.
All right.
Thank you. Congratulations, everybody. I'm proud of you.
And hopefully see some of you in Austin.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We'll see you in Austin.
Thank you everybody for joining us.
All right. See you later.
Bye.
Love you guys.
Bye. Are we done?